Hey.
Hello. Yes, I had my mic muted for a second then, but yes, it's episode 4 of the recapping. It's on my stream this time, so you can guarantee loads of stuff's going to go wrong. Mike's already been down. I misspelled the title and the stream name, but hopefully I'll fix that already. Yeah, hopefully a good show today. Obviously joined as always by Known Connection.
Oh.
And really honored today to have Abusify as a guest, like really interesting guest. Abusify, hey.
Hello, hello.
Hello, man. Would you like to kind of introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm expecting a lot of people to know me already, but just for those that don't, I'm Abusify. Most people just say Abu, and I help a bit with the seasonal, mostly with data collection. So I'm mostly responsible for people sending all their logs on time from the matches they have, and then I process them all. I check their validity as well. I just make sure everything's right. And then also that means I am able to do some nice stuff with them, such as some interesting statistics, which have also some of them been shown here last week. No face cam. No.
Tried it.
Nice.
I actually,
Well,
I have a webcam here, but it's like it's something my dad gave to me when it was mandatory for online class. Back when that was still a thing, and it's like I don't know where he found it, but this thing is so old. Like he can count the pixels.
if you can see the stream right now, you can see that my chroma
Yeah,
key is also
yeah.
very pixelated. So, but we'll just deal with it. It is what it is.
No, mine's much worse. Like the coloring's completely off. Also,
I
Well,
think every week we have something. There's always a
uh,
technical. It's either your stream, my stream. There's always something, and
it's
it's
always something. I mean, it's
annoying.
the nature of the beast, isn't it? But I mean, Abusify or Abu, like, thank you very much for coming on. I feel like you downplayed your role a little bit there. You said you like do a little bit for the seasonal. I
100%.
mean, you basically you're like the background guy, like running the Discord, right, and like keeping everything ticking over, making sure the stats and everything are like where they need to be on time, etc. And like you say, doing amazing analysis, and hopefully that's something we can get into a little bit today during the show.
I also think like a lot of people like watching a game, but stats. Everyone loves stats. It's ridiculous. There's not a person out there that doesn't like it, and so obviously they all come from you. So big
there's
appreciation.
actually there's actually one thing I forgot to say, which we've all forgot to mention. And
Oh.
that's that I also did the Ben phase bots.
Oh my god, yeah, you
Ah,
did.
yeah.
Yes, it's probably the most important thing that
Yeah,
most people care about. Yeah.
so pretty essential, I think, is what we're getting to here. Abusify the machine behind the face of this tournament. So like, thank you very much for coming on. Hopefully we get to talk a bit about those stats as we go. Chocho, fuck stats. Shut up, you troll. So hopefully we get to talk a bit about that as we go on. Just to kind of run over what we've got coming up on the show, we've got obviously the same as always, a summary of the previous round. So that's like last weekend's games, the 4 matches that happened at the weekend in the round 3 of the qualifier. Then we've got a kind of bit of a chat about the stats. Then we're looking at the future match fixtures, and then we've got a whole bunch of clips at the end. The reason why we're a bit late today is because we've got loads and loads of clips today, and I've been busy after work, like trying as hard as I can to get these on for you guys. So bear with us if there are any technical issues, as you can see from the chat and us interacting with you. We are live today, so if there are any problems sound-wise or anything like that, just try and let us know, and we'll try and fix it as soon as possible. Yeah, without further ado, I guess we'll kind of get into it and have a look at some of the games from last weekend, right?
Oh yes, a really good weekend as well. You know, we've had 3 weeks now with epic games. Um, so yeah, really good games that we had last weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so hopefully those of you watching the stream can kind of see the previously on page here, and it's actually laying out like the whole tournament so far. Let me just try and sort out the chat box because it's a little bit skewed.
can add that to the list of things
It's
that
like
aren't set up
squished.
correctly.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I'll leave it. You can read it. It's just like long and
Like,
tall and thin.
yeah,
But yeah, so obviously, like we've had the full qualifying rounds now, and we're kind of onto the main stage. Um, if you've been following the show so far, then you will have kind of been with us as we've gone through that first round of qualifiers with all 16 teams, the full out 8 games. But there's another round of 16 now coming up next week that we'll get onto in a minute. But as you can kind of see from the graphic here, teams that went 1-0 then played each other, and teams that went 0-1 played each other. And of those teams that went 0-1, we just had the previous games from the winners of those games, like the others went out. So in that second round, we obviously lost War Red Army, CSP, we lost Bundeswehr, and we lost DCR. The games that went 1-0 in round 2, and then the winners of those, so the Line, Trirex, STDB, and Finns Let Loose, just made it straight through into the main stage. But this weekend that's just happened was the winners of the 0-1 round. So that would be EG, Hell Let Loose Poland, Lost Legion, and the Trio. Versus the losers from the 1-0 round, so that's Phoenix 501, and Bastardos, Ellie's Heroes, and ERF. And we had, like you said earlier, Connection, like an amazing weekend of games actually.
yeah. It's not been non-stop. Brilliant games throughout. And I believe it was Heidi that put out in the announcement earlier in seasonal how some teams may have found it easy, but a lot would have found it quite challenging, and it has been certainly a challenging seasonal so far in just this qualifier stage. And I'm gonna say I'm shit scared to see what's gonna happen in main stage, because if we're seeing this in qualifier stage, I'm looking for big stuff in main and then epic stuff in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, so Abu, is this kind of new format something that you've had an involvement in? Obviously, you're quite like involved in the runnings of the seasonal.
I haven't really, like, this is all Heidi's. At least I'm guessing this is fully Heidi. Like, I don't even think Jane has done much about it.
Yeah,
I
so
believe this is like a format that's used a lot in CS:GO. I'm
okay.
assuming, guessing. I mean, there's maybe some CS:GO people in chat that know,
Nice.
but
Okay.
Heidi plays a lot of CS:GO.
Yes, sometimes he leaves our little chats to go and play CS:GO. When he's had enough of talking to us, he'll just
I think that's
sl-
his ways to wind down.
yeah, he'll just slide away and go play some CS:GO. How you can wind down playing that game, I don't understand. It just makes me want to smash stuff. But maybe he's a lot better than me. Probably he's a lot better than me.
He is.
Um, So in terms of the I think we've mentioned it several times on the show so far, but like this kind of format, as opposed to previous formats, like certainly in the last seasonal, actually allows like a lot more kind of fair and competitive games in this early stage, because we've had a lot of these teams who either played last seasonal, didn't do too well and kind of went out early, or are like fairly new to either the seasonal or even the competitive scene playing against each other. So we've had these kind of more even matchups. And then with this format where it's going with the winning teams playing each other and the losing teams playing each other, and then a winner and a loser playing each other, you end up, as you can kind of imagine, with like a lot more interesting games. And we've seen a couple of like pretty significant wins over the weekend and over the previous rounds, but it hasn't been anything like in previous years or previous seasonals where that first round is almost like a bit of a throwaway for some of the teams, because you're coming up against maybe like a top seeded team in the first round and you're like brand new to competitive, and that's not really giving you a fighting chance kind of thing. So the games this weekend then, um, did you manage to catch any of them? No connection, I presume so.
Yeah, I managed to watch a few. We had a really good one from ERF and 501. That was a good battle from ERF, but they just got better. The 501 and beside the boys, they just took it with a slight ease with 30 minutes left. So no, that was an easy win for them, but still ERF did do a lot of damage, and were trying really really hard. I watched quite a bit of the EG and Heli Hardcore Heroes. EG absolutely dominated the field again against Heli Hardcore Heroes, taking it within just under 50 minutes as well. So two good games. Did manage to catch up on Hell Let Loose, Poland and TC, and Lost Legion and Barbed Wire Collection, nor the Phoenix and the German Trio yet, but I'll be watching them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, so from those two games, I mean, they were both pretty good. So, I mean, what we've done in the past is actually looked at uh, the public opinion of who is going to win and then who's actually won it. Would you like to kind of run us through some of those public opinions and stuff,
Yeah,
connection?
yeah. So the first game, which was Hell Let Loose Poland and CC versus Lost Legion and Barbed Wire Collection, um, it was quite a tight one. It was 57 for Hell Let Loose Poland and CC, with 53 to Lost Legion and BWCC. So only 4 votes between them, and they did. Hell Let Loose Poland did win 3-2 in that game.
They
So
did. I think it actually changed. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think it kind of changed between How Let Loose Poland and Lost. Um, I forgot the name. Lost Legion Barbed Wire Collectors Club. Like in between, like kind of near the end of the game. Actually, unfortunately, I don't think it was captured on any of the casts. But they fought. Both teams fought really, really hard the whole way through. And again, it's kind of like that. They were on Samurai Glee. It's the kind of that classic thing of what we were saying. You know, it creates these tough games. And you mentioned the 501st and ERF game. You know, with like an hour and 9 minutes or something left on the clock, ERF almost took the center point. There's actually a clip of it later on at the end of the show, but like, you know, it wasn't just like an easy kind of walkover by any means, but a really interesting one. So, what was that on the public vote? So, who won which?
they voted correctly, so it was 57 votes for Hell Let Loose Poland and
To
CC
53, you said.
to 53. Yeah, and they
Yeah,
got it correct 3-2 on a win.
nice. Well, the public right again on this one. Sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're way off.
Yeah, way off, but
We've seen it
so,
before.
so far, yeah, from what we've seen, they're getting their votes pretty accurate. And I think this round, the main stage, I think we'll see some wrong predictions coming from uh, the public. Clearly,
Yeah,
what we're seeing.
there could definitely be some upsets coming up over the next few weeks for sure. So the next game, EG versus Heli's Heroes. I think, from what I remember, EG were kind of way ahead in the voting there.
Oh yeah, they were whopping 111 to only a 15 votes for Heli Hardcore Heroes.
Wow. I mean, some of that we've seen in the past rounds. Maybe that EG have had, you know, like a die-hard following, let's say, that have kind of propelled them in the public vote to, you know, I think they've won every public vote so far. You know, including at the start against 501st, which they lost in Stalingrad. In kind of, I don't know. I think EG wouldn't have been happy to lose that one. They lost it right at the end, didn't they? To just like a really sneaky play. But they've definitely been a kind of fan favorite so far, and I think you know, Heli's Heroes have kind of, I don't want to say they've had a bit of a charmed run so far, but like you know, they won against Lost Legion in a sort of, you know, it was kind of close, but it was a bit of a lackluster game in the first round. Trirex, who we've seen come through and absolutely dominate everybody that they've played against, they beat Heli's Heroes with no problems at all in the second round, and then they were playing to stay in it, of course, against EG this weekend, and yeah, really struggled. I think that was on was at Utah Beach, so kind of quite a fair map, but equally like it wasn't their day, I guess.
No, not at all.
But give credit where credit's due to EG. You know, they played really well, and they have played well even in that first round game against 501st. You know, they were unlucky really not to win that one, and then obviously dominated War Red Army in the previous round to see War Red Army go out of the competition. So they're kind of they're one to watch, I think, for the main stage, but wouldn't be my necessarily my top pick. I think they've been, as I said before, a fan favourite so far, haven't they? But whether they'll be a top pick going through, what do you reckon?
I'm not too sure. I think it would be great to see it if I don't know if Abu did these stats or it was Heidi and Jane, but what they sent out at the beginning of seasonal, where they put their who would they feel like they would qualify for main stage, go to nil, stuff like that. Abu, was that you?
The bot to make your predictions is actually not by me.
The shock.
Yes. I said no to Heidi, and then he just pinged at everyone, just help me please. And someone actually did it.
That's hilarious.
That's good.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the or what or when the results for that will be out. I'm guessing either soon or at the end of the tournament. Something you
Did you
Heidi
manage to
will.
catch that game? Either the Poland versus Lost Legion or
No,
EG
no,
Hellies?
actually, I've watched barely any games to be honest. This weekend, like I've had no time at all. I've watched absolutely none.
Been flat out so busy.
Yeah.
He's
I,
getting
Getting
into
ready
I
for
I
main
game
stage.
mode.
I watched like a few snippets of the ERF 501 game. But yeah, that's like in total like 10 minutes, just halfway through the match.
What did you
I
think of that
well,
10 minutes?
I have no. It was just somewhere in the middle of the match. Like I don't even remember at all, to be honest, when exactly it was.
Yeah, well, we've got quite a few clips, like I mentioned before, so it might ring some bells later on. But they really
Yeah,
fought hard over town centre, and then
yeah.
customs, and then it all kind of fell apart, unfortunately, for ERF right at the end. But um, looking at the Phoenix versus the trio, this is kind of the name that everybody's kind of coined for this team, the trio. Um, that again was like a pretty hard fought game. What was the public vote on that?
That was 81 for Phoenix and 45 for the trio.
Yeah, nice. And they played Herken, right?
Yes, I believe so. Let me just double check. Yeah, Hogan Forest, Phoenix
Hergen
took
Forest, yeah.
on Axis, and the trio took on Allies.
Yes, and obviously Phoenix coming out of that one with the win. That was I think a pretty hard fought game. I mean, it was in the end a 3-2 to Phoenix, so you know it's not something that again was like a steamroller. But we got some. I keep saying about the clips. We got some pretty good clips of that game as well, with a lot of pretty savage spawn killing on the out in the woods in the forest at Herken there.
Nice,
Um,
love that.
yeah, I mean, like I think I believe it was Guderian who I watched streaming that one, and I think you know, like the whole way through, like that we saw really tough plays. We saw some great satchels. We saw like lots and lots of kind of like shutting down of the tanks and things like this. So um, again, a really good game. So I recommend. Let me just say as well, like you can go back and watch all of these games. So this game that we're talking about now was Guderian and McPimmel, who casted that one.
Yep.
McPimmel, obviously in German, if you fancy catching it in the German language. Hell Let Loose, Poland versus Lost Legion was Natch2 and Blue Meanie, although I don't know if Blue Meanie managed to get
I,
on.
I don't think he did. I think he only did about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened there. But then we've got EG versus HLY, and that was Soul Raver, so Soul Raver 15, and Strikeout 1066. I watched a lot of the Soul Raver thing because I was looking to get clips. I saw some of Strikeouts as well, but Soul Raver got some absolute cracking footage there. There was a one moment we might see later on with like an airhead. I won't spoil it too much, but
I've seen that one.
That's all you
I've
have to
seen that
say.
one.
yeah.
I think everyone knows what you mean when they say airhead.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. And then the final one, obviously, that we're talking about from this weekend just gone is ERF versus 501 BST. So, what was the public vote on that one, Connection?
Uh, It was 78 to 501 Bastardo Boys, and only unfortunately 9 votes for ERF.
Okay, well, I mean, we've spoken about ERF and their kind of public votes before. I think partly
Yeah,
it's a case that they have a lot of like, non-English speaking players who aren't necessarily in the Discord. So a lot of these teams, clearly in the public vote, they benefit from having their own team members vote for them, don't they? So, it's like nine. Like I voted ERF on this one, so one of those 9 is me.
yeah, I
And
did as
then
well.
Yeah, I can actually confirm that. Like I've checked it last season, and like you said, there's like plenty of votes that are just from your own team.
yeah,
Uh,
exactly. So
Yeah,
that and it weighs in a lot if you think about it. Like that's 20 votes extra can
yeah,
make a big difference. And on top of that, like I don't think many people in the Discord have like a big connection with ERF. I mean, they're a complete new team for us
yeah.
essentially. Yeah.
Completely new, and they're all the way from China. They don't really kind of match the time zone that we kind of play with, so it's quite hard for them to their community to probably get involved as much as we probably hope for in seasonal. Um,
yeah, for sure. Although they've got some really great people involved in their team, and some, Richard Walter, who casted the game on Bilibili in the Chinese language. Like he definitely is in the Discord and very kind of very nice guy. Very kind of engaged. So I think like going forward, I can see that like the Chinese teams are going to be getting like more and more involved as we go through and more involved in this kind of like community side of it. Um, but yeah, I mean, we've kind of touched on this game before in terms of what actually happened. But that one was on Carentan and it ended up in a 5-0 to 501st and Bastardos. But yeah, it was tough for ERF. They had the town centre as the kind of central point, and they almost took it. And if they had, I do wonder like what could have happened, how it could have been different. Customs was like their next point, and I think they did struggle on that one a little bit. So yeah, I mean it's not one that is that easy to play as a second point, and also because it's like out there on that kind of spit of land, like with the
yeah,
the the river on either side, and you might think, yeah, that helps like to defend, but in some ways that's actually sort of a bit of a negative because it's sort of it funnels you in. So like if the enemy managed to get into certain positions, then it can be really really hard to defend because you can't kind of on lots of points you obviously like put your garrisons like all around it, whereas you can only sort of run in from one direction, and oftentimes you have to put a spawn point basically inside the strong point or very close to it, and so you can easily kind of get overrun if that's the case, and that is what happened to them. And then they sort of, I don't want to say collapsed really, but like they just couldn't get inside of the hard point, or they got pushed out of the hard point at the last point, and it just kind of cost them really. They had a lot of 501st guys all around in the sector at the back there, and it just it didn't work out for them in the end. But obviously we've kind of lost some of these teams now, ERF being one of them, but we'd love to see them back, of course, and the other teams that we lost in the previous round, War Red Army, CSP, DCR, Bundeswehr, and now, of course, Heli's Heroes, Lost Legion, the Trio, and ERF are out as well. So really good games, as we've said about 10 times now last weekend. Do make sure you go and check them out. That last game, that was Des Outberg streaming in English, and Richard Walter streaming in a Chinese dialect. I'm afraid I don't know which. Um, Probably the main one. Shows my knowledge of geography and languages. But like I say, really nice guy. So go and check his stream out as well. Show him some love and drop everyone some follows.
can
Should
I
we have a look at? Yeah, go on.
just want to mention that we had EG Phoenix, Hell Let Loose Poland, and 501 Bastardo Boys all qualify for the main stage. Now, Phoenix was second highest voted to qualify in the main stage, so they got that one pretty accurate. Then it was 501 Bastardo Boys, which was fifth.
Hmm.
I want to get this bit correct. EG was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, seventh, and then no, hold up. Hell Let Loose Poland and CT was 13th out of 16 teams to qualify in the main stage. So it just goes to show kind of like anyone is up for this. Anyone can, if they want it as much, they can really grab this. You got teams like Heli Hardcore Heroes, which was like 15th. Lost Legion BWCC was about 14th. The trio was 6th, and ERF was 14th. 14th. So
Okay.
we've had a bit of a mixture, but it's good to see that Hell Let Loose Poland and CC managed to get through to the main stage with such a low amount of votes on that one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Hell Let Loose Poland, obviously they proved themselves worthy in this last round by beating Lost Legion Barbed Wire Collectors Club. They kind of got let off a bit easy against Bundeswehr when they dropped out in the previous round. But yeah, for sure, like it's really good to see them through. And I think, perhaps we'll talk in a second a little bit about the seeding for the next round. But it's really nice to see like some of these teams, some of these kind of like up and coming teams, like progress through into the next round. I can think of several. Trirex obviously have like absolutely dominated in both their games. Finns Let Loose as well, who I'm personally like I'm happy, very happy to see get through. We've kind of had Deep Hooker on the show as well in week 2, or show number 2, episode 2. STDB as well, who both of us have kind of. I don't think either of us have casted their games in the seasonal, but we've certainly casted games outside of the seasonal, and they're an excellent team. And then again, EG, Eastern Group, kind of coming through. Phoenix, like, so many people kind of rated Phoenix, and it's great to see them through. Hell Let Loose Poland, that was Jane's shout. Do you remember in the first episode she said
Yeah,
Hell Let Loose Poland to watch out for them? So nice to see them through. And 501st, they've been around for so long, and Bastardo's been around for so long, and they fought really hard in all their games. They had that amazing win at the end, right at the end against EG in the first round, and they've kind of come through all of that. Obviously, like lost to the Line, who are a fantastic team in the kind of second round, but pulled through and avoided relegation. So I'm very much excited to kind of see how this plays out. And then like the seeding again, I think they're trying to make it kind of like a bit fairer as we go through the rest of the tournament into the main stage as well. So like I think the standard of games, like the competitive level of games, the nature of the games will probably stay at the sort of level that it is.
yeah, it's
I
already
hope so
high.
anyway. So I don't know if you have any kind of insight, Abu, into the seeding process, but I've been trying to wrap my head around it a little bit.
Uh, it's highly available. Yeah, no,
Yeah, Dion.
I have honestly no clue. I know that out of the 8 teams that have passed, they are now matched against the 8 teams that were already qualified, already seeded based on past seasonal results.
Yeah, yeah,
So the teams are already in like the main stage now. This is the main stage, right? Is it?
yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
Yeah. People that were already in the main stage, they are now matched to the 8 other teams that have just come to the qualifier stage, and then the lowest ranked team in the qualifier stage
yeah,
is
correct.
then matched against the highest ranked team in in the main stage. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
and
going to be
then
hard fighting, but it's not going to be
yeah,
steamrolls.
yeah. I mean the thing is, being in qualifier doesn't already automatically mean that you're worse or just worse or lower than any of the teams that were already qualified since the start.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all of that's just based off of like previous performance. So some of these
Yeah.
teams, they just couldn't really be seeded because we hadn't seen them play before. I'm thinking of something like Trirex, which is like a new alliance. We haven't seen them out there before, so like there's no way to seed them. So they were in the qualifying group, but as we can see, they've they've barged their way through straight to the main stage. So um, basically, yeah, you're absolutely right, and I say you're absolutely right. Like I mentioned a minute ago, I'm also trying to wrap my head around this a little bit, but um, effectively, what happens is those teams that went 2-0, so that's the Lion, SCDB, Fins Let Loose, and Trirex, they get seeded 9 to 12, and then the 4 teams that went 2-1 this week will be seeded 13 to 16. And then the rest of the seeding is done using the Buckholes scoring system,
And
which is
that's where things go all
which is
wrong
where
because
things
no
go
one
all confusing.
understands. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, what happens is like you count the results of the teams that you face to get there, win or lose, and then every win counts as +1 and every loss counts as -1. And this is where we do need Heidi to explain it completely. But if I just move on to the coming up page, and we kind of have a look here, hopefully we can sort of stretch this out a little bit and really make it so everyone can see. Let's just get the thing over the top there. So effectively, yeah, what's happening is the better you did in those, I think exactly as you said, the better you did in the qualifier, the more you're going to be going up against a lower seeded team, as it were. So
Yeah.
we've got, as you can see, hopefully, let me just kind of like adjust this around so we can really like see
So I
it the
believe,
best we
as you
can.
can see, WTH obviously were like first in the autumn season, so obviously
Yeah.
they're top then core, and then EG was, I'm guessing, the last team that went into the
Yeah,
qualifier
so they will
first.
have been
Yeah,
seeded 16th
yeah,
because of
Yes.
their results that they've had so far. So they're playing off against each other. And what the hell, EG? I don't know what Heidi's going to do, to be honest, because regular viewers of the show will know that EG was his top pick to win the whole tournament, and he is also the commander of What the Hell. So, is he going to throw the game? Is it fixed? Will it
he's
be?
gonna let Chronic do it and lose it. Oh,
Is
mic drop.
that the plan? You've got the
I
inside
love you,
knowledge.
Chronic.
You've got the inside knowledge. So, is that what's happening? We've got House Gangster I see in the chat as well. Oh, I saw Excessiver as well asked a question in the chat before about what do you guys think about the chosen maps, and lots of kind of outsider maps being chosen as well. I think,
I personally, I think that in the first week, you've had pretty much every map. Like if you just, for instance, check on the band phases that just pretty much all came in of upcoming weekends.
Yeah,
It's literally almost all of it is SME with like a couple of Utahs, and then there's a purple hot lane in there.
yeah, I love a purple hot
yeah.
lane.
I can go through them when we go through the teams if you want.
Yeah,
Whenever you.
that'd be great. I mean, we could do that now, to be honest. So if we start with like what the hell,
Yeah.
talking
So
of purple hot lane.
what the hell versus EG? It is Purple Heart Lane. WTH will be taking on Allies, and EG obviously the Axis.
So what's the plan, House Gangster? How are you going to win? I guess that's a secret. But Purple Heart Lane, I think they'll probably be going for the steamroll. What the hell? Judging by like what I know of them playing on that map.
That's the only thing Heidi will accept, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think that's the worst map to steamroll. I don't think it's possible with all that rivers and stuff like that. It's too hard.
Maybe, but it's also one that's really hard to like defend and get back on if you
Yes.
are getting steamrolled. And I think like House is very quiet in the chat there, but I know that there are certain ways that you can kind of get into positions despite the streams and the rivers and the sunken fields and things like that. Let's put it like that.
I know every team they have their stats or their tactical
Their
team.
tactics, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll be looking at that probably in the upcoming week.
He just sent me a private message.
What, telling you to shush?
something like that. All right, so let's move on to the next one, shall we? Core versus PHX. Core, obviously, like a really, really, really good team. Again, like fought so well. I mean, all three of these top teams, What the Hell, Core, and what do you call it, 82 AD, they fought so well, like in the last seasonal, and it was kind of pretty close between all of them, really, in the end.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a tight seasonal. It
Yeah,
definitely is. But
Like there's not week. There's like tons of like matches that I'm just so excited about. Just to
yeah,
name a few. I mean, of course, WTH versus EG. Maybe a bit biased. But
yeah,
like, I mean, I'm really looking forward to Trirex 116, Blacklist,
yeah.
Fins Let
I was
Loose,
about to say that one. I think that will be a
yeah,
good game.
what's that?
oh
Blacklist,
yeah,
Fin Let Loose.
Yeah,
501 ESBT is also a great one. Did I already mention it?
but you look at all of these games, all the teams here, and that's I'm saying no disrespect to the teams that have left us already, but the teams that we have got here, any game, no matter who you're playing, it's going to be good,
It's
and
such a
it's
strong
going to be
field, isn't it?
yeah. Well, it's a very nice seasonal.
Yeah, all the way through. I mean, so yeah, going on to the games, we've got Core versus PHX, and like you said, Abu, that's on SME, Summer Glees. And
Yeah,
that's a
cool.
very competitive map. It used to be really the only competitive map, but it's a very, very kind of competitive map. And these are two teams that I think PHX could kind of, I don't want to say they're going to really surprise Core, because Core are very, very experienced, but it's not gonna be easy for Core at all.
No, and Phoenix are a very, very strong team. They will definitely give Core a run for their money. But Core is very, very experienced. Definitely are very well equipped in Saint Heracles, especially being the allies as well. Phoenix might have to have a little bit of luck on their side,
Yeah, I
uh,
think so.
with regards to the points as well that they get given. But nevertheless, I want to say it's
Who's
going to be
on
a
which
tight
team?
game. So you got Core taking allies and Phoenix as the X's.
Okay. I mean, well, I've seen lots of kind of interesting fights down at Crossroads in terms of like the Axis. They have like quite a strong approach there. And the same thing actually at Hospice. I think probably if it's in the middle, they're going to really struggle, but it's going to be a war. Or a steamroll. I mean, the public opinion is a steamroll. I can see that it's 40 votes for Core and 6 votes for Phoenix. But whether or not that's just because all the Phoenix guys haven't logged on and
Yeah,
put their votes down yet,
yeah.
I don't know.
We wait till Phoenix get in there.
It's not going to be easy for them anyway. And then we've got 82 AD versus How Let Loose Poland. I mean, I mentioned before that they kind of got through against Bundeswehr because of them dropping out before the Polish team. They have proved themselves a little bit against Lost Legion, but it's a big step up from Lost Legion to 82 AD. What do you reckon on that one?
Uh, it's straight 82 AD win. No offense to Hello Poland. But I think they might just get outplayed on this one.
What are you saying, Abu?
Uh, I really can't go all ways, really. But yeah, I'm rooting for Phoenix, but I have a feeling Core will win.
Yeah, yeah. And how about 82 AD, How Let Loose Poland? They're playing, so 82 AD on Axis and Poland on Allies on, what's the map?
Quarantine.
Carentan.
Guaranteed, yeah.
So,
Um, to be honest, like I like the 82 AD boys quite a bit. I do think like no hard feelings that they got like a bit like lifted to like a higher level by the I forgot the name,
but
the
yeah,
DC
Bundeswehr,
boys,
BWR.
the DC boys, 82 AD last
Oh,
seasonal.
I see. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. So,
So
but they're not with them this time.
I'm curious how they will do it out really. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
like there will be an interesting match for sure, but like again, this can go both ways. But yeah, again, I think 82 AD will win. But
as you mentioned, they've been around a long time, 82 AD, but they did have
yes,
help in the last seasonal from DC, and DC are like primarily a kind of a shooting team. You know, like
They
they've got
have some
some
like
killers.
big names in there, yeah.
And so without those, you know, like it's kind of maybe going to fall back more on their tactics a little bit. I think, you know, Hell Let Loose Poland kind of known for being quite like tough in opposition, but you know they're not like the level of, you know, gunplay that like the DC guys are. But then it might just come down to like strats versus strats sort of thing, and a bit more kind of a strategic game rather than just based on getting kills. You know, and pushing through and clearing out areas easily. So it could be tight. I mean, the public vote has, like you said, connection. Definite 82 AD is a favourite on that one, with 98 to 13. But it's worth mentioning that just like in the previous round, if you lose this game, it doesn't mean you're out of the tournament. You know, that's going to mean that you're going
No.
back to play somebody else who's also a loser of their first round game of the main stage, and then you have, you know, another
3 more
basically
opportunities.
two chances or
3. You got
free
3.
to stay in it. So
Yes.
it's you know, we've seen in the last couple of rounds, we've seen teams who are playing to stay in it. But do you think maybe this time around we might see teams who are willing to take a loss more so to put themselves in a better position versus like their next opponent, perhaps?
I think that's risky from the teams.
I really don't see why you would do that. Like there's really no benefit to it, at least in my opinion. So no benefit to it, but it does give some teams that are confident of themselves. I mean, some teams that are confident. Blah, blah, blah. There's some teams that are like confident of themselves might just use the opportunity to kind of just try out some new things here and yeah, but
And
that's
just
why
see
yeah
what
that's why I
happens.
said we might see some interesting tactics and some may work, some may not. I mean, it may seem some surprise wins as well because of that exactly. The question is, are teams willing to take that risk, or do they
Sure.
even need to try out their own special tactics, or are they confident enough already that their tactics are good enough?
Maybe if they're against a team where they feel like they might not win, they're the games that it's probably best to try something new
To try
because
something new,
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that too. Yeah,
and then you can
a
play it
bit of
against.
an all or nothing
Yeah,
type
because you
thing.
know
Yeah,
you might not win against a certain team. And I'm not going to pick out a team here and there, but I think that's probably the only time that we will
and
see.
also just coming back to excessive question earlier, like about the outsider maps being chosen. Like there were actually a couple of people that intentionally picked some less commonly picked maps because they know they would be the underdogs and hoping that it could give them an advantage because both teams had to kind of start from scratch with their tactics, and both teams had like an equal amount of experience playing that map in a competitive environment, which is, I mean, it's interesting tactic to say the least. I mean, I'm personally not sure how much of that will be true, but
Kind of taking it back to basics sort of
yeah.
thing, and
And hey,
trying to
it gives us a nice variety of maps, so I'm not complaining.
Well, we've
absolutely,
got
yeah.
5 weeks of games now for this main stage, so we'll definitely see
Yeah.
something.
We're going to see a lot of the maps. And actually, you know, like to clarify what I meant just a second ago, I don't think anybody's going to intentionally lose, but I think that, you know, they're not going to feel as bad necessarily about losing some of these games if it puts them in a position where, you know, they might be playing other teams who
No,
are 0
indeed.
and 1, you know. Okay, it's risky, sure. But like sometimes against certain teams, you feel like maybe you don't stand that much of a chance. Maybe you try something crazy, like you say, and you know, maybe try and pick an outsider map or something. But you know, like overall, they maybe aren't going to feel quite as pushed up against the wall as they have been for the last couple of weeks. Some of these teams that have come through the qualifiers. The other thing that you mentioned just then, which is kind of makes me think of something, is in terms of these kind of outsider maps, etc. Do you think that there might be some sort of mentality amongst certainly like the top seeded teams that they don't necessarily want to be playing some of the maps? Like imagine that you're like a top seeded team, you've worked out like brand new strats for this seasonal. do you want to show those off in the first round against somebody who's come through the qualifiers, or are you saving that for later on against a team who
I think they would save it.
you're really going to struggle against, maybe?
I mean, it's certainly is an interesting topic. I mean, I would lie if I said I hadn't thought about it before. Um, like of course, I mean, in case you don't know, like I generally play anti-RT during comp. I play during comp.
Hmm.
And like that scene has evolved so much over the last year that let's just
Anti-RT,
say
you mean?
there's a lot to think about. Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
to think about. And there have been like some big some big changes made and like some big plans or that like it came up with some a bit small, of course. And yeah, it's always a question like at this point, like, do you want to use them, or do you want to keep them, or is it even worth keeping them? Because if you don't use it, other teams will just start using it before you know it. Because
True.
everyone is trying they're the best at this, right?
Yeah, I think you're definitely right there, and I think also that there's this fact of, obviously, like you mentioned right at the start, that you've been involved in creating the ban, the map picking and the ban wave and everything like that. Like, you can't rely on getting the map that you want. If you don't just think, hey, we're going to try it now and win these games, like, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to save it for later, because you just might never get to play that map, and then anything that you've worked out on that map or whatever, or in a certain way, a certain strat, is then maybe wasted.
Then don't lose the game. That's it. Don't lose it.
Okay, so moving on to the next game, down the list, we've got ESPT versus 501st and Bastardos. You mentioned that's going to be a good game. I think ESPT are going to win that. What do you reckon?
Tough one. Tight. 1 hour and a half.
Yeah?
Full time. Yeah.
Sam Merigles.
Yeah. I think full time.
So Summer Ugly's is just that one map where you just lock in on the middle point, and it's just gonna be a slog, and then looking
Yeah.
at you checkpoint. But yeah, no, I'm definitely expecting to have it last the full 130 of 1 hour 30, 3-2. And I mean, like, I personally, I see 501 as like a kind of one of the big surprise of the, well, not a big surprise, but you know, I personally think they've been doing very well the tournament, and like I've enjoyed watching them, and yeah, I'm pretty much, I want them to win, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I probably want to see ESPT, OP, BHB win just a slightly bit more, just because they've been around for so long, have some good connections with some people there. So
I think they're super
so
keen.
yeah,
I think they really
yeah,
want to do well in this tournament, and Excessive mentioned in the chat here that teams from the qualifiers are already 3 games in. They've got a bit of a warm up going on, and 501st, yeah, they're going to be warmed up, but equally they could be a flip side of that where they're a bit fatigued as well. And I don't know. I just think that ESPT, they've been waiting for this, and it's kind of their time to shine. And I think that they're going to really try and take this main stage, by the horns, and bring the USA side of it kind of back. But we'll see what happens. I mean, um, as you mentioned before, like it kind of comes down to the center points a little bit as well. And checkpoint down the bottom there is a real slog if you get that. Some of the secondary points on Sam Merigles can kind of screw you though. I'm looking at cemetery and things like that. If you get those diagonal routes to defend, like sometimes teams, if they struggle to get back a little bit, it can really kind of play out quite interestingly. And the same thing if teams manage to get forward and get those spawn points in, like nice and quickly after the sector gets capped, before people are disciplined enough to redeploy or something like that, then you can get some momentum going on the map. But we'll just have to see what happens. A really tight game and definitely one to watch. We don't know, I should just say, who's casting any of these games. just yet, but do check out the seasonal Discord like over this week, and you should see who's casting these games and be able to kind of line that up and plan out who you're going to watch. And of course, just like the ones over this weekend and the ones from the weeks before, they'll be saved as well as VODs, either for a couple of weeks or even longer on Twitch, and then on YouTube on people's respective YouTube channels. So
Yeah, I just hope everyone has like six. I just hope that everyone has like 6 screens for Sunday, because it looks like all of the games are on Sunday roughly at the same time. Obviously, apart from one team, which I believe is the Bastardo and ESPT. That's quite early in the evening, but no, sorry, that's normal time. But yeah, everyone's playing on Sunday, so say goodbye to your mother for Mother's Day. You're not seeing your mother on Mother's Day.
send her a card.
Yeah. I'll talk to you next year, because by the time you finished all of these games,
it will be next year.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one that we've got is 116 versus Trirex. This I very much look forward to seeing. This is going to be Trirex's first real test, I think.
Against the Greyhounds, it's definitely going to be good. I'm unsure about who will win. Maybe full time. It is on Saint Marie de Mont. Greyhounds will be taking axes and Trirex will be allies. Abu, what do you think?
All I know is that 116 is full of surprises.
Yep.
You know, the game yesterday, and yeah, it was interesting. We won still. Just pointing that
Just
out.
saying.
But no. Then again, that's just, like I said, this is one of the matches that I'm probably most excited about. I think I think it'll be 116, but then again, yeah, no, this is I find this one just so difficult.
I think it's going to be a great match. I mean, like I say, it's a great test for Trirex. 116 came 7th in the last seasonal, so they're not like the number 1 or 2 or 3 teams, but like they've been around a long time. You know, they're tricky, like you said. Yes, you played them yesterday, did you say? And
Yes.
you know, they've been strong for a long time, and I think you know, compared to like CSP or somebody like that, no offense to them, but like they're a different level of team, and Trirex, you know, they've kind of walked over some of the teams in the last round, but I don't think they'll just be able to jump in and 5-0 116. So
Their defense yesterday really held back a winning seasonal team. Do you know what I mean? WTH, they were going for it, and they had a strong team out. But 116 did a really good job defending. So if they can hold WTH back,
yeah.
it's going to be very tricky for Trirex.
Who were they playing, Gadarian? What's up, by the way? Whilst he answers that, the next game that we've got to look at is STDB versus, who's that logo?
UFR, the new one. It's going to be.
I was going to say we haven't got Jane on the stream. Oh,
No.
Trirex and 116 played against each other. Okay, interesting. I wonder if they've learned anything from that.
Just spar a little bit together, and then have the real
but
clash
5-0 to 116. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not what happens on on the friendlies. It's about what happens on seasonal. Will Tyrex now understand that how 116 plays and come back and get their revenge?
They lured them into.
Yeah.
Wait. So the Greyhounds they played a friendly match this Saturday
against Trirex on
then
Utah
they played
and
another
won
one against
5-0.
us
Yeah.
yesterday.
Animals.
That's hardcore.
That's dedication. Like, what map are they playing? Is it also Utah?
Yeah, that was Utah. Yeah.
Utah again. Oh god.
Yeah, hardcore.
They've been practicing, bro. They've been practicing.
A few weeks prior, Trirex beat 82 AD and won 3-2, says Gadarian. So
definitely going to be tight. It's going to be one of those top games to be watched.
Yeah, or maybe 116 are really like pushing the envelope, and they're maybe 82 AD are overrated. So
Like I said, I have a feeling 116 will win, but like I wouldn't. Like I'm all open for surprises. Like I like from what I have seen from Tree Rex, like they have some tricks up their sleeves. They can pull something off there, even though they lost 5-0 2 days ago.
do you want me to time out Chronic, guys?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Abu, Chronic says hi.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Oh, he timed him.
600 seconds. That's so long. All
Oh,
right.
oh, killer.
That's too long.
Well,
He'll create a new account and come
that
back.
goes up. I'm snipping that, and that goes into the WTH wall of shame.
Ban
No.
Chronic, ban him.
600 seconds is so long, dude. All right, so the next one, then SCDB UFR. We've had Jane on right at the start. UFR, great team. SCDB again, a great. Deny Chronic only 600 seconds. SCDB, another absolutely great team. We've said it like a million times at this point, but like that's a great game.
Yeah.
Should be a lifetime ban. You cheeky. And then the next one is one that you mentioned before, Connection, that you were really looking forward to. Blacklist versus Finn Let Loose. Why did you say that?
Sorry, say that again. I missed that bit.
That was
You
me,
had,
I think.
I think it was both of you said about Finn Let Loose versus Blacklist would be a great game. Yes, thank you, Chronic. You're my boy.
Oh,
You're
he's
my
back.
boy.
He's back. From the games that Finland Loose have been playing, they've been on the ball. They've been positive. They've put out some really good, solid performances. Blacklist from last season, they had some really good games. I haven't seen them warming up for this seasonal, but for sure they've done their training and getting ready for this. But from previously, the autumn seasonal, uh, they had a good season with some good performance. So I feel like this is a good match between both teams, and I think it's extremely fair for both of these teams. So I want to see how this will pan out.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so I want to add to that. So last seasonal, Finns also played, and pretty much they didn't have the worst season, but they didn't last super long. I mean, they didn't have like the teams in their favor. So first they had to battle against OC, which they lost. Then they won against CSP, and then they got eliminated whilst fighting the camp. Which all are like the not the easiest opponents, so to say. There's actually quite a few big names in
For
there,
sure. I
and
mean, OCKRT came second or third, and then
yeah, exactly,
the camp was what, like fifth or sixth. So
yeah, exactly, and like for me, like I hadn't heard much of them as a competitive team, and like they kind of went under the radar for me, like as a, and then and like now, like they've just been going here through the qualify, and they've just went 2-0.
yeah, I mean, we
And
had Dipuka come on the stream on
yeah,
episode 2, and he was very, very kind of candid about saying how they were willing to like learn from all their mistakes, basically. And I think that that's something that anybody who plays against them has to be concerned about, I guess, because any team that's able to learn a lesson, turn it around, and turn it into a win next time out is definitely a force to be reckoned with. If they're that flexible, if they're that kind of like humble, they don't let stuff like get in their way, like egos and stuff. Who knows what they can do?
yes, indeed. So I do believe the Finns have improved quite a bit, at least from what I've seen so far. And then there's Blacklist, who are they are a great team. They're not the top, I'd say. Again, no offense, but and like I said, I think they just make a great combination. Like you said, I haven't seen much from Blacklist recently, and honestly, like I think this match could go both ways really. Yeah, I'm just really looking forward because I just have no idea what to expect. And this might just be a steamroll from either side, or it might be a super tense match. That lasts the full 90 minutes, and yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, just bring it on. Surprise me, guys.
Do you think maybe Blacklist have been doing private games where they're not streaming and they're not publishing their results,
I don't
and then
know.
they're just going to come out and just win seasonal? Who
Just be
knows?
amazing.
You know what I mean? We don't know, but it's
If
dangerous when
that's
you
the
don't
case,
see.
if that's the case, I'd be happy with it. Like
I hope
Yeah,
so for the
yeah,
for the
yeah.
movie, you know.
they deserve it. Yeah.
Right.
And then the final one that we've got here is Trigger. So this is CNUT, right? Or it used to be CNUT
Yes.
Yeah,
versus the Line.
yeah. We're not too sure who or what map they're playing on. They've only taken off Temericles, Allies, and Axis. The rest is still underway. That's the last ban phase to be announced.
Yeah, I think suffering a bit from the time delay potentially there. I think sometimes the Chinese teams
Yeah.
are last on the ban wave
Yeah.
fairly often. But again, an interesting match. I think, we mentioned before about how the teams are seeded and how it's kind of like CNA are one of the lower seeded teams in the the ones who were waiting in the main stage, like the pre-qualified teams. But the line have come out and been dominant throughout qualifier, and I think everybody expected them to be. And so I look forward again to seeing that one. Well, like you say, we don't know what map it's going to be on yet, but it should be good wherever
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah. TL is just a very high anticipated team, and I just don't think Trigger will be able to do anything here again. If they do, like, I'm all open for like surprises, but I'm not expecting any here.
They were my favourite pick for last seasonal, and they let me down. I'm not gonna lie, they let me
But
down.
you say you're up for surprises. We've had a few surprises so far in the results, or
Yes,
at
yes,
least the
definitely.
games. So it's definitely up on the cards.
Yes.
And of course, like we've said a couple times at this point, all these teams, whether they win or lose, will go on to another round of games,
And then another one. So
and
it's,
then another
it's
one.
like, yeah,
So
it's
They've actually got 4 games. Sorry. So whether they win or lose this one, they've got 4 games to redeem themselves to get
yeah,
through.
so
Yeah.
if you lose this one and the next one, you do go out. So that's the situation that these teams are going to be wanting to avoid. But like as you say, if you win one, lose one, win one, win one, lose one, or
Yeah.
win one, whatever, like lose one, win one, lose one. You can keep in the tournament for quite a long time. And Guderian said earlier that he looks forward to hopefully seeing Fins Let Loose get quite deep in the tournament. Um, I'd like to see that very much, and I kind of streamed 2 of their games actually in the past seasonal, and we've had Dip Hooker on the show. They're a team I really like, and I think whatever happens, they're probably likely to carry on for at least another 3 games, I would say. So, but definitely at least 2, because even teams that go 0-2, that's in another 2 games time. So, um, yeah, like you say, it's going to be next year by the time this tournament's over. But for those of us who are fans of watching this competitive Hell Let Loose, like, who cares, right? Like, that's what we like to see. So
Or excessive has just thrown out the new map. I think no one should play that map, and only the final is played on that.
oh my god,
final,
yeah,
just the
Can you
match
imagine that one?
pre-decided. Oh god,
And
no.
the bridge will be the middle point, and we keep changing it until it's the middle point. Done.
yeah, I vote
Sorted.
for that. I vote for
Oh,
that.
Remagen, why?
Brilliant. Okay, well, obviously we're like taking our time here on the show. Heidi's going to be pulling his hair out because we were supposed to be keeping it brief, but who cares? We're having
We got
fun, but
Abusify. We got the stats, man.
yeah. So, but we've got to talk to him about some stats. So, let's just jump onto this stats page that I was sweating over right before the stream. That's why we were 5 minutes late.
I just want to mention Torfist, Torch, and Caro. You're all on a bench for your game on against EG on a weekend.
Nice. So yeah, like I said, we hopefully it'll be similar to last week. I'll kind of reveal these like names as we go, and we're going to go basically top kills. So obviously we'll get into a bit more like talking about like some more in-depth stats and stuff. We're going to keep it super simple with just like top kills per game and things like that. Obviously kills don't win games and etc etc. That is the standard disclaimer, but it's just a bit of fun, this kind of little thing that we're doing with the stats. But we'll kind of reveal them as we go, and it's going to be infantry and then tank and then artillery for each game, who's got the top kills. And then we'll do what we do the last couple of weeks in a row, which is the kind of top victim, the most killed person of the week, by the same person. And then yeah, we'll get into kind of talking about some of these stats with Abu, because like, you know, we've got the fountain of knowledge here. So if we kind of get straight into it then, starting with the EG game and Heli's Heroes, hopefully this will work. So we've got Mortamillion with the M1903 Springfield with 42 kills.
Nice.
So not bad going. That is actually tied with Kaplan with an M1 Garand, who also has 42. If I can, oh, wrong numbers, but you can see here that the tank is Alexei with the M4. I guess I didn't write 42 twice because they're the same score. They're tied for the infantry, and then Alexei with the Sherman is the top tank kills. And obviously, like, so we've had people contact us through Discord before, saying that we're kind of not mentioning tank squads, and it's going to stay that way. So this is probably the gunner, I'm guessing, but this is the way that it has to be. There's not enough hours in the day or space on the screen to write everybody's names, so apologies if you're not mentioned, but you know who you are. It's just a bit of fun. So then for the artillery, we've got Godsend, who was absolutely devastating with 81 kills, which is, I think, quite a few. I don't think
I'm
I'd like
not
to be standing
sure.
under that.
Like, how long did that match even last? Like, I don't think it lasted
Exactly,
that
it was like
long.
half an hour.
It landed on 48 minutes at the
Yeah,
end.
That's a
So
lot for 48 minutes.
yeah, that's good.
yeah. I think there was obviously the kind of he locked in on spawn point there, I guess, or something. Perhaps we'll see that in a minute when we get to the clips.
But either way, 42 kills and 46 for a tank in just over half an hour. That's pretty good going.
Yeah, 100%. If there's any problems, by the way, guys, with like the audio or anything like this on this screen, do let us know. Obviously, we're live; we can change it as we go. This was like a brand new edition in the last like 10 minutes before the stream started, so there could well be
I have
problems.
not seen this at all. Like, you just surprising me with all this.
Nice. Okay, so then I think we're going over to the ERF
I
501st
can
game.
make myself a bit louder, Torfis. Hold up. Is this better?
Yeah, just keep letting us know whether that's okay. We can turn him up a little bit, crank that.
Okay, Torfis, just.
Up, he says.
I mean, I can put the microphone in my mouth, but I'm not sure if that produces the best audio quality. Like,
I think he's trolling. He just wants us to say his
Torfisk,
name more.
Torfisk, Torfisk.
You're saying his name wrong.
Yeah, it's
You're
it's
saying his name
pronounced.
wrong. It's Daddy.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's pronounced
Yeah, no, forget about
differently,
that.
but
Let's continue talking about stats. I like that better.
brilliant. Shall I ban Torfisk? Who's Torfisk? Right. So yeah, the ERF games. So we've got T here with the Gewehr, and they managed to get 50 kills in this game. It doesn't surprise me, having watched the game, that there were a lot of kills in this one. It was pretty hard fought the whole way through. Then for tankers, we've got Potage. Sorry if I said that completely wrong. In the Sherman M4 with 32 kills. Then for artillery, we've got Everst, who smashed it up with 8. So not
Wait,
not really a
8.
big artillery game, that one.
Maybe he was. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry,
AFK, you
I
reckon?
tried to help out.
I find it hard to believe that. Like, to be honest, I've lost kind of losing
Maybe
hope in
yeah.
501 now.
Yeah, maybe it's just that they didn't know where
But
the
no,
enemy were coming
it's
from.
37. You missed the 3 in the front. What I
Yeah,
think.
sure. Is it
No,
37? Have I got it wrong?
it's
I knew there'd be something wrong.
37.
What am I
It's
looking at? Some other
37.
stat. Hey, don't call me out. Just leave it at 8. Let him message me in
Maybe
private on
just
Discord
how
and
many
He
complain.
got
times he
8
died.
deaths if that's what you were looking
Oh,
at. Like.
Here we go. Look, here you go. Nobody saw anything. That's fine. I just thought it was really funny. I was just in a rush. Right.
how much has Everest got? 42.
Yeah, 42 kills total, of which were 37
What?
with artillery.
He's still getting more kills. All right.
No, he's got 42 total, of which
Yeah, 37 on the
37 were
RT.
with the artillery. So.
All right. Yeah, you can turn off your stats page now and stop double checking me. Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, for the Lost Legion Hell Let Loose Poland game, we've got Crip T with the Car 98,
80.
Oh,
80
Car
kills.
98.
67.
Oh,
Slapping with the Bolty. Then tank-wise, we've got Bartini 63 and that tank squad in the Sherman M4 64. And
jeez.
artillery, we've got Cheka. I'm sure I said that completely wrong. With 31. Don't check it. Now, the PHX trio game for the infantry kills, we've got fullback with the Gewehr with 108.
No. Well, I think that joined top with our top killer
Yep.
last week.
But then in the tank, we've got Peasy in the Sherman 76 with his squad getting 90 as well. This is such a big killing game, this one. I feel so sorry for the players in this one. Like, you know, any of us who've played this competitive at all, or even like semi-competitive, you just know like the pain of dying over and over and over. And then finally in the artillery spot, we've got Temerary Encladau from Phoenix with 86. So absolutely savage killing game, that one. Like really high killing game.
Yeah, you missed one. You missed one. Sorry.
I missed one.
There's
I said stop
actually,
checking me.
you
Who we
actually
got?
have
I'll change it on
Cap
the fly.
Cap Germany, Capped Germany, from Phoenix, who has 123 kills with artillery.
With the arty, okay, well should we change it?
Yes.
Should we let him have it?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, 123 kills.
It's from Phoenix, yeah?
126 total. So that's a really nice amount. That's all I'll say.
From Phoenix, yeah? Did you say from Phoenix?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is me literally like rushing to get this done at the very last
They-
second.
They'll understand. They'll understand. It's fine.
My co-hosts here, they know the stress in my voice when I came onto the Discord and was like, "Oh my god, guys!" How many did you say?
123.
Boom, nice. All right, let's get onto this victim, and then we'll get to talking to Abu about some of the more in-depth and interesting stuff about the stats. So just messing about, but so the victim, correct me if I'm wrong again, but was special force by in trio by this same guy. As he got lost from the lost out on the artillery there, but Temerary killed him 11 times. So not nearly as many victims as sometimes, but and I think that might be tied as well. And there's a couple of 10s. but like lots of 6, 7s, 8s. So pretty like standard victim. Nobody's picking on anybody in particular, and that is artillery that's getting him over and over. But you know, as we've said before, we've got Abu on the stream today, so it's awesome to hopefully talk about some of the kind of more in-depth stuff about stats. And you know, we've done this like really basic thing here of just looking at the kills, but Abusify, like, you know, what do you think is kind of like a more telling stat than just like kills? You know, is there a way through the stats that you can kind of see like, um, obviously you can see like who played well, but is there anything, you know, kills don't necessarily win games, but is there a particular stat that wins games?
Uh, well, in general, like kills is kind of a false representation, of course, because the matches, they may last like a different length. Like you said, like 45 kills in was it 45? No, 81 kills with artillery, in
In
just
45 minutes,
45
yeah.
minutes. Yeah, if that match was just to last like the entire hour, hour and a half, that would have been more than the 123 we've seen from Phoenix there, for
Yeah.
instance. So like just having kills per minute already, that's just a lot more like fair representation of someone's performance in terms of kills. And how, yeah, unfortunately kills is kind of the only thing that you can track. And there's still some fun things you can do with it, but that means you'll see some people more often than others, even though everyone deserves it at best. So there are still some other things which are just fun. So for instance, and have like the amount of deaths, the total amount of deaths within a single match, for instance. Like just have a guess. Just have a guess. How many deaths would there be in a single match that lasts? The
Like
full
full hour and a
1
half.
hour. Yeah.
Well, looking at the points here, it's got, and that's just naming a few people. Like if you look at the Phoenix versus the trio, that's 300 there, and that's only three people.
Yeah.
So I'm easily gonna say it's got to be 2 to 3,000.
Go on, let us know
All right.
what's
All right. So I've got here the average deaths per match is 2,300 roughly. However, that is regardless of match length, and the average match length we've had so far is within this week. By the way, this is all week 3. In week 3, like the average match length was 70 minutes. And then the average deaths per match was 23,000. And
Hold on,
um,
say that again.
23,000. No, wait, 2,300. Sorry,
Oh, it's
2,300.
insane.
sorry.
That's incredible
However,
though.
like you just brought up the Phoenix versus the trio match, and that match, if we take a look at the most casualties per match and the most casualties per minute, it ranks first by a big margin. So in that match, we've had 3,300 deaths, which is 74 per minute, roughly.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
That's ridiculous.
And
Hurtgen Forest, right?
Itch on, you're correct as well with your prediction.
Yeah, literally he
Yeah.
called it like half a second before Abu said 3,200.
So
So,
yeah, in total, like there's the top matches throughout the entire tournament so far. These past 2 weeks, the most deaths we've had per match were again the Phoenix versus the trio match was on top with 3,307 deaths to be exact, which is then closely followed by STDB again versus the trio with only about 50 deaths less at 3,265. And Lily just not doing any under, like only 7 deaths less. We have Finns versus Phoenix with 3,258. And that list goes on for a bit. Like we've got 501 BSD2 versus EG with 3,200. Again, Phoenix again versus War Red, 3,200, and so on, so on.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, so like Inchon says, that's kind of like 1,500 roughly kills per team, which is, well, you can see what they call the game Hell Let Loose, can't you?
Yes, definitely.
And you know, we spoke a little bit, only very briefly, like before the stream, but like you know, you've kind of said there's some other interesting stats, like some things that maybe people perhaps don't know. You know, you mentioned to me, I know about satchels.
Yes, so this is something that, like, when satchels were first introduced with the game, this is something that came to mind instantly after like having played around it with like for a week. You know, you see everyone's just putting down satchels everywhere whenever they get the chance, and then killing more friendlies in the process than enemies. It's like after like a couple of months, like I wrote like a little script that would query all the available logs we had on our server from those past few months, and I just pick out all the logs that were deaths by satchel charges, and put team kills next to kills, and the percentage of kills versus team kills, like out of all the deaths, like 40% were actually team kills.
That's
And like,
disgusting.
so I've done it again here, and here, okay, it's better here. It's not 40%, but it's throughout these past 3 weeks, we've had 253 kills using satchel charges and 57 deaths. Sorry, deaths, team kills. So
Wow,
that's again
That's a lot.
200, yeah, that's 253 versus 57. So out of all deaths by satchel charges, that's 18.4%. That is team
that's team
kills.
kills. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yes, I mean it's still a win-win. It's a win-win. It's still a win, I guess, if you take
Well,
the
80,
ratio.
80% not team kills,
18,
right? So
18.
no,
Yeah,
I mean like the
18.
other way, like 82% is not team killing. So
Yes,
that's a win, right?
yes, it is a win,
That's like
but it
Winston
comes at a
Churchill
cost.
maths.
It comes at a cost. Yeah, and
And
we have the same for artillery as well. These stats, I'm just gonna quickly result back to only week 3 because these are not accurate. Because for the first week, which was prior to the game update, there was no way to differentiate between tanks and vehicles.
Mhm.
So for week 3, we have, out of all the artillery kills and team kills, we've had 13%, 13.3% team kills, which
Wow,
is also still
That's
a lot.
yeah,
Like
a lot.
that's
I would argue that's unacceptably high.
it is high. Yeah,
Come
that's
on, guys.
like out of all nine kills by RT, like one is a team kill.
Jeez.
Yeah, and
Does
the same for
Same for
the same for
tanks, did you say?
vehicles. Yeah, which is only 4.2%.
do you know the
Jeez.
radius of? I think the satchel is like 15 meters, right?
I
The
have no
kind of
idea, to be
radius.
honest. Like, I
It
wouldn't be able to
sometimes
Maybe
tell you.
depends.
maybe the chat might know, but I want to know what the radius is between a satchel and a
I
high
mean,
explosive from an arty, because that might make a big effect as well, wouldn't it? Oh, obviously, I know it has a 20-second cooldown.
RT
Torfis
20
says RT20.
meters, satchel
No,
30
not
meters.
no, not
Do we
the not
trust Torfisk though?
no. I think Toffis is doing a countdown for the times. I mean about the meter radius.
I think he. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. He
That
says
is,
Oh,
that. He
yeah,
oh,
that
says
is,
yeah.
is that
yeah.
a 30 meter? I thought it was. I didn't realize
Yeah,
it was
because
that
I've
high.
seen there's been some great ones recently of like people blowing people up from the other side of a wall, like through the splash damage, or like destroying a vehicle like
Yeah.
through a wall by placing the. Which game was that actually? That was the last Fin Let Loose game. Who did they play? Where they won right at the end and they put the satchel on the wall and destroyed the tank through the wall. I think was it versus PHS?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
um, like which is really cool tactic. But again, it kind of depends a little bit. Like you can get some like weird clipping stuff where you kind of get cover inside the blast radius. Even then, Excessive says don't trust him. Yeah, sometimes you just have to though. Um, you know, we know Torfisk. He's half honest, right?
But I like Hellfish's idea. Plant the satchel and then blast it with a rocket.
That's the
Kaboom!
ultimate combo. Yeah, then you get you don't have to wait for the timer, I guess. I don't know if that actually works to do like double explosion, but it's definitely worth a try. This could be one of those tactics that we were talking about before that the teams are going to try against some of the higher seeded teams that they think maybe they're going to struggle against, some crazy stuff like that. So, um, in terms of like, obviously, I kind of mentioned before about it can be very yeah, suicide transport targets. That's a big one. We haven't really seen too much of that just yet, but I'm surprised to be honest that we haven't seen that. Um, but we kind of mentioned before
I
about
know you can't place satchels on friendly vehicles. I've
there
tried.
you go, there
Sorry,
you go.
I've tried. It's one of those big brain recon anti-arty strats that I've tried, but it never worked.
Can you imagine if that was possible? How many we would see that, especially on a start off as well.
I'm pretty sure there was a vehicle like that in like Red Alert where one of the like special in Command and Conquer, like one of the special vehicles for one of the factions was like a suicide truck thing. Always kind of crazy. Um, but we mentioned before about how oftentimes when you're playing competitive or even kind of I don't know squad line battle or something, you can feel like you're getting killed over and over by artillery and you're just dying all the time. Do you kind of know like what the sort of ratio is in terms of like people dying to like guns and tanks versus artillery?
Like as if you're reading my mind, like literally. Again, I want to let's have a chat, have a guess. What weapons do people die the most to, or vehicles, or artillery
M1
for my
Garand,
parts?
And one Garand's got to be like top
that has
rifle,
to be the top.
surely. But then I guess artillery. Does artillery kill more people?
No, tanks
Probably
are
not.
impressive.
Probably not. I reckon rifles kill more people than anything.
Yeah.
All right, so uh, I have to quickly check what's better to use here, the week 3 of the total, because total is not totally accurate. Again, the game update after week 1. It seems pretty accurate. So the Garand again, like you said, it's at top by like a large margin. I've got here out of all the deaths that we've had this season, or which in total have been 39,416 so far. Again, 39,416.
Jesus.
Out of all those deaths, we've had. I need to get the right list again. 8,214 caused by Garans, which is more than 20%, like 1/5, like 20.84% here to be exact.
That's crazy. Do you know what the top rifle is or top infantry weapon for the German team?
Yes, that's well. Again, do you want to have a guess?
Let
Will,
let
will
the
it
chat guess. Say what they want, I guess.
Yeah, what do you reckon, chat?
will it be the Gewehr? Will it be the MP40, the STG? What do you have? The FG42 question mark?
No.
For me, it's the SUG.
I do you know? I'm not sure. I feel like maybe it's the Garand, the Gewehr. Sorry, not Garand. Talking about
So it's actually pretty close between the Gewehr and the MP40. The Gewehr has
MP40.
more. Yeah, the MP40. Yeah, the Gewehr has 4,484 deaths on its name, which is 11.38%. Closely followed by the MP40, which has only 400 less, and that is 10.39%, like almost exactly 1% less.
That's really interesting. Now, I personally hate the Thompson. So how well does that do?
The Thompson, in comparison, only has 2,258 deaths, which is 5.73%.
Interesting. So people just aren't picking it probably, but
Yeah,
um,
yeah, it's like everyone picks the Garand, and then like a couple take the Thompson, and
Yeah, street.
like if you just scroll down, like there's like 500 with the Grease gun, even less, like 440 with the carbine.
What's the lowest?
Does anyone use the shotgun?
Let's see. That's the shotgun. The shotgun 0.36%.
It's like just a meme at this point.
What's the lowest?
We've got FG42 as well, which has 0.24%.
Damn.
That's just one player running around.
Yeah, even worse, the MG34, 0.20%.
That's because why would anybody pick it? Like, you know, in the competitive scene, there's not going to be anybody who doesn't have the 42 unlocked, is there? So it's kind of like, why even put it in the game, devs? I don't know. You know, historical fun, I guess. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me. In terms of machine guns, like, do you know which is more effective in the stats, like the American or the German?
I can quickly see. So we had 78 kills with the MG34. I need to find where the MG42 is, which has 1222 kills. So together that makes 1310, compared to the Browning, which has only 8,700 and eight. Sorry, no, I'm so bad with numbers today. 878. So that's like 2/3 of the Axis machine gun kills. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's like a big win for Axis. Although there's a slight inaccuracy I should mention, which is of course that that we've had, I think it's one game on Stalingrad, was it? Which will had Russians instead of allies. So yeah, I mean that was like that would be like an additional 32 kills for the allies, but that wouldn't have made much of a difference.
Yeah, well, that's all very interesting. I mean, do you think so? Obviously, you mentioned a couple times now that the stats have been improved. Like what you can see now has kind of been improved since the last update. If you could like pick something that they included in the stats, what would you choose?
Roadkills. Roadkills.
Nice.
Definitely
Oh yeah,
roadkills.
everyone
Yes,
loves a
no.
roadkill.
Should I just go straight up the number? Well, that's it's only 0.14% of all deaths, unfortunately. But it still makes for 57 roadkills, so
Nice.
nice.
And how about the other fan favorite, melee?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like that's more than double the amount of melee kills.
Wow. So
Melee,
people,
we've only had 26.
So
you know, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say to the chat, what would you prefer to see, a roadkill or a mini kill?
I
Go on.
Go on.
For me, it's a mini kill.
Yeah. Well, I think so. I'm curious about this roadkill stat. So obviously we've heard about how many of the satchel kills, etc., are like team kills. How many of the road kills are team kills?
I would have to very quickly copy paste something and then rename it from where is it? Rename it from satchel to roadkill.
Because you see, the reason why I ask is that, I mean, definitely before anyway, but even more so now since the update that they've changed this kind of like the braking and stuff on the vehicles. I feel like it's probably really easy to either run yourself over or like run your friend over by accident, and that probably makes up like a big part of the stats. But in terms of which one I'd rather see, I think like a one-off, I'd rather see a melee kill maybe. But like, if some person's driving around and they get like 5 road kills in a row, I love
Yeah,
that.
wild
I
kill.
love that. Just wild billing, just fucking driving around, crushing people.
How many mini
Yeah.
kills were there? Sorry, for excessive.
It were where was it? List. I believe it was 27. No, 26.
26 mini kills last weekend. Wow, and that's only in 4 games.
That's crazy.
Okay. Oh no.
I knew
What
it.
have I done? No, there's more team kills than kills.
I knew it.
No.
No. It's only one. The difference is one, but it's still more. It's
Yeah.
still
All right,
more.
go on, hit us with it.
There's 28 kills and 29 team kills.
By roadkills.
Oh
By
no.
roadkill. I called it. It's so
Oh
easy to
no.
accidentally run your friend over in those trucks. They like jump out and run forward, and you drive a little bit too quick or something, and that's it. That's all it takes. You just touch them
No,
with it, and they're dead.
we had like an absolutely hilarious clip from yesterday's match against 116. Like, can't really share it here, but the people that have seen it will know. They
Everyone
will
jumped
know.
out, and everyone got run over, right?
No. It's funny.
Okay, well, I'll look for that after the stream, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's public.
Torfis says,
I
I
might.
know, Teehee. Right, banned. Right.
Yeah, Thorfisk
but
knows.
He's just got unbanned.
yeah. But yeah, no, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Abusify, for like the awesome
Yes.
stats chat. Like, I was really looking forward to this. Stats have been really popular like throughout us doing this show, and I was like really curious about some of your insights into it, which is, you know, why it's so great to have you on. But yeah, I guess we'll kind of move on to the clips now, shall we? What do you feel like?
Go for
Yeah,
it.
I think
Yes.
they're thirsty for that now.
Schon rein, obwohl die Spawnwave nicht durchgekommen
back to my
ist. Ja, das
terrible,
müsste aber
terrible
spawnbar
webcam.
sein.
Let's kind of
Muss
sort
man echt
out
aufpassen, dass man hier die
for one a little bit. There you go.
Spawnwave mit der eigenen KI nicht
Alright,
rausnimmt.
so it's just like playing random clips at this
Peekaboo,
point.
Spawnwave kommt.
Let's
Ja, genau.
go
Aber APK hier mit dem
let's get
Triple
rid of this
Kill,
one.
der
So the
formt den
first one that we've got
Außenposten.
here for you
Mit der
is
K.
on McPimmel's stream. We've got PHX APK firing a rocket on this garrison.
Bock für APK.
Goes down in the process, but McPimmel loves it.
That's music.
Does the zoom in. And then for the next one, we've got again same match in the forest. That's this match that was so many kills.
Oh,
Garrison. Again, is that
Same garrison. So that was Vistark instead of APK, but you can see if I play it again, you can see APK is literally like right there as well.
18 Mann könnten jetzt rein. APK ist an der Garnison.
Still, that's disgusting. Like, I wonder, do these people wait for the spawn wave to happen, or
yeah.
Well, if you're a
this
certain
just the
distance
next-
away, right, you kind of have to.
APK will be fuming at him, saying that was all mine.
Yeah, I was going to mow them all down with my MP40 or whatever, but so then for number 3, we've got ERF versus 501. Yeah, so this is one from the sky from Richard Walter, casting in Chinese. So we can see the airhead here. This is their almost successful attack.
It's a nice white screen.
在黑圈完全得到了控制的情况下，局势的发生会很难让人判断。这个空降如果落下来之后，501没有办法及时的通过轰炸或者说其他手段来处理掉，那么革命军将会通过这个空投据点快速的重新铺开。但是仅仅随之而来的一个问题就是说。
I don't know if you guys saw the map at the end there as well, but like that attack there for ERF, you know, where they put the smokes down. This is something that we've seen them do a couple of times now at this point. Put the smokes down, fill into an area, drop the airhead kind of on the smokes. Like they really had their players in a great position, and it's all credit there to 501st and Bastardos for coming through and actually fighting them off from that, because they had people really deep. They could have definitely kind of not got like not a steamroll necessarily, but they could have put 501st and you know the Spanish team really on the back foot there if they managed to succeed. So hats off to 501st for taking that out in the end, although at that point obviously you could see that they were really just about to kind of dominate. A fuzzy touch, yeah, my Garth cam is tripping. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with it. If you see it like from the if you watch like the actual feed into it, it's totally fine. It's like something that's happening inside the OBS. I don't know. I was trying to figure it out before the stream, but there wasn't enough time. So I am Fuzzman now.
Something, Spitz. We're almost seeing something.
Fuzzman.
Fuzzman. So the same game again with Das Alberg.
Ah, god damn it. Partito behind the commander there. And they're still pushing. They're still pushing. I don't see the Puma at the moment. And that's the artillery that has saved a lot of the other.
Nice little bit of artillery right on the spawn there.
Like, no, the artillery was literally everywhere. Like, it was behind them, in front of them. It just killed people left and right. Like,
Yeah, which is, I guess, why he got more than 8 kills, right?
yeah.
All right, nice. All right, clip 5. This is from the EG game here.
Toast, your time to shine, man. Your time to shine. Valde, Ostfront, viel Spawn an der Airhead.
No, it's
Alle
not.
bisschen potatoed, aber ist okay. Der Airhead der Spawn ist durchgegangen. Nach diesem kleinen Fehler der Arti. Aber Peekaboo, das MG hat sich hier drauf ausgerichtet. So muss nur schauen, dass hier keiner durchkommt. Wenn man das MG wegbekommt, kann dieser Airhead noch sehr, sehr gefährlich werden. Oh, und noch eine fette Spawnwave. Smiler, Peekaboo. Aber keiner trifft hier den Gegner wirklich. Obbit, Profound nimmt hier 2, 3 Leute raus. Anderson, Songit, MG raus. Peekaboo jetzt noch. Als MG im Graben. Er ist aber jetzt schon weg. Da ist einfach der Timer abgerannt.
So this one, I mean, you can hear it at this start. Soul Raver calls out Toast. He's like, Toast, this is your time to shine. And then and then he calls him out for being a potato. And then unfortunately the other players there are also potatoes. So if we kind of watch that back, so what's happening is the airhead is in the smokes there. And you've got Toast obviously running like right up to it. But then Peekaboo and Smiler as well on machine gun, like failing to kill those players who just literally spawned in front of them. So I kind of want to watch this one again in context.
I'm struggled how
Toast,
the MG missed.
your time to shine, man.
I guess he can't see through the smoke.
Your time to shine. Valde, Ostfront, viel Spawn an der Airhead. Alle bisschen potatoed, aber ist okay.
Wasn't this airhead attack actually
nach diesem kleinen
them to
Fehler
get fifth point?
der Arti.
Wasn't that just
Aber Peekaboo, das MG hat sich
Yes,
hier drauf
it's this.
ausgerichtet. So muss nur schauen, dass hier keiner durchkommt. Wenn man das MG wegbekommt, kann dieser Airhead noch sehr, sehr gefährlich werden.
But Smiler on the roof,
Und
just
noch eine fette
not
Spawnwave.
killing anyone.
Smiler, Peekaboo. Aber keiner trifft hier den Gegner wirklich.
Ja.
Obbit, Profound nimmt hier 2, 3 Leute raus. Anderson, Songit, MG raus. Peekaboo jetzt noch. Als MG im Graben. Er ist aber jetzt schon weg.
So
Da ist
fair
einfach
play.
der Timer abgerannt.
Fair play to the guys that spawned in there, that, you know, managed to stay alive and take out like half the team. But what was going on with the aim in that one? Right, next one.
Why? Oh my god. He's gonna walk by. No?
Really? No, he didn't see it. Oh god.
Well, let's see if he's gonna get the OP. Yeah, he got the OP. He's probably hearing the garrison now.
Yeah, he doesn't hear
Well,
it.
he kind of ran over though. Like, what?
No, where is it?
Oh my god, what's going on here? What is he doing?
Oh, no.
What is he doing, man?
What's he doing?
He does. The clip's a bit short, but he does find it in a minute. But he runs all the way back round the same way again, like in a circle before he finds it. I guess because there's an OP there as well. Like he probably heard the sound of it, and then like destroyed it, took out that other player, and then thought like, oh wait, there's still sounds coming from somewhere, and then he's just running around in circles trying to find the garrison. But he does take it out in the end, to his credit. So
Thank
kind
God
of
for that.
fungus
Otherwise,
eater
he
that
would have got
was.
slaughtered.
Yeah. Then the next one is a tactic. You know, we were talking a little bit about the radius of explosions. What do you think of this one?
Did he go inside it? Oh my god, that's a nice play. That's a nice play. Still alive though.
How did he survive?
Oh my god, that was nice. That was nice.
This is so weird to look at as well. Like, it's really hard to say what's going on. Like, everyone's just running past each other in circles.
Yeah. And like, what a great tactic! You know, we talked earlier about some of the like sneaky tactics. Yeah, Torfis says you could see his legs sticking through. Yeah, literally just for like a second, you see his like toes poking out. But like the interesting tactics that people have. I mean, hiding in the back of a half track, that's a new one on me. And then this one, this is the one that you thought it was, I think, before Abu.
Airheads?
This is the EG game with the airhead. So
yes.
We're gonna finish up on this one.
Hier schon rein, obwohl die Spawnwave nicht durchgekommen ist. Müsste aber spawnbar sein.
So good.
Jetzt muss man echt aufpassen, dass man hier die Spawnwave mit der eigenen HE nicht rausnimmt.
Just an epic shot.
Peekaboo. Spawnwave kommt. Ja, genau. Oh no!
Good shot. You can also see.
Okay. Can you pause that at the time when they all spawn and see how many they actually got?
Oh my god. Probably not on the stream. I can quickly do it on my
Unlock it.
my downloads here. Oh yeah.
You should be able to, if you unlock it and then click on the actual video, you should be able to pause it and play it.
Oh god.
Hier schon rein, obwohl die Spawnwave nicht durchgekommen ist. Müsste aber spawnbar sein. Jetzt muss man echt aufpassen, dass man hier die Spawnwave mit der eigenen HE nicht rausnimmt. Peekaboo. Spawnwave kommt.
Ah. I missed it.
Obwohl die Spawnwave nicht
Try and pause it. It's really hard to get it to work on stream
Muss man
apps,
echt
but
aufpassen, dass man
I
hier
can
die
count on the thing, but there's quite a few there.
Spawnwave mit der eigenen HE nicht rausnimmt.
Let me have a little
Peekaboo.
look.
Spawnwave kommt. Ja, genau.
So, for a bit of context about this clip, this is. I mean, this is probably like one of the new meta changes you've heard about. Just smoke an area and then drop an area into it, and people will not see exactly where it drops.
Yeah.
However, what EG did here is they also poured artillery firewall in after, so that's actually friendly artillery that you're seeing. It's not enemy artillery.
Oh god. Yeah,
So they
9.
actually, yeah, exactly. If you look at chat also as well, it's actually they actually just wiped out their entire like push. And the guy that fired the shell, like the shell that killed everyone, they got kicked from the server for team killing like 10 seconds later. And also just so you know, people we've always said that like the punishing is broken because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It does in fact do something, because as long as you don't vote yes, people won't ever be kicked for team killing.
Right, but everyone voted yes.
Yes, there's enough people must have voted yes. I believe it's like 5 that you need.
They were
Or so
pissed.
7. And you're kicked. And if you come back again and do it again, you're getting a ban. But no, you just got kicked, and well, you should have been able to
Oh my God.
rejoin again later.
Wow.
That's terrible. Excessive says
Yes.
like 10 in one go. Yeah, I counted just now on my player, and it's like 9, at least 9 people. So yeah, pretty savage. I guess the timing was off on that one.
He's definitely going to get roasted.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's one moment in his gaming career he will never forget.
So
Or
the
no
question
one
is,
will ever forget.
yeah, they let him play next game. We'll...
I don't think on RT. Probably Medic.
Yeah. He goes first. Point man, right? Okay, well, that's all the clips I've got for you. Hopefully that was plenty. But thank you very much to everyone who took clips on the casters. Like, massive thanks, obviously, to all the casters there as well.
thank you.
You know, all the people who've kind of put in so much effort, of course, as always, not just to the people like Heidi and Jane and Abusify who put in all this amazing effort to put on this seasonal for us. You know, you've got the casters and the streamers out there. You've got the communities themselves who put in so much effort, all the players as individuals who dedicate their time to this game. So, you know, we always end up by saying like massive thank you to everybody for like everything that everybody does towards this. But again, we're going into like the main stage. We're going to have amazing games coming up. Make sure when you watch those games, put those clips in the Discord on the highlight. Like I will search through the individual streams to find the clips on each caster's channel, but it's way easier if you can put them in the highlights. Plus, it means that so many more people can see them and appreciate it, because you know, hopefully, like, you know, you guys have had a good time today and you'll come back next week, but like, you know, and some people will watch this show after the fact, but you know, way more people are going to be able to see the highlights channel on the Discord. So stick them in there. We'll use them. Other people will like and share them. We can all kind of appreciate, especially if you put a little bit of context. You know, we had that great context there from Abusify about the team killing and stuff like that, and getting kicked. So if you like put that as you post the clip as like, you know, a little explainer as well, then you know, that'll be awesome. So I think we're pretty much done as it is. So kind of went, yeah, again, Heidi, you know, he's like, oh yeah, keep the show to like half an hour, 2 hours is fine, right? So yeah. So, but thank you to everybody again, like who's been in the chat, been just watching, not in the chat as well, and a massive thanks to my co-host here, Known Connection, to Abusify. Hey, to Abusify, thank you very much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully, we'll have you on again, like at the end of the seasonal. Can we get you to commit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we've got you one more at the end of main stage before we hit end of seasonal as well. Each stage we've got you, so I think we're going to see you in another 5 weeks. I think.
It's
Nice.
I believe it's 5 then.
Yeah, 5 weeks, and then we'll have all the stats from all of the main stage put together. But boy, do we have a great main stage.
I'm literally so pumped for these games. They're so good. And
It's-
like rounds and rounds as well, and you know, teams that lose will be playing other teams that lose to stay in the tournament. They're always great games, and you know, there'll be like epic stories of these teams coming up from qualifiers who go 2-0 in the main stage, and can't wait.
It's very good. Thank you very much again from myself to you guys for watching, tuning in each week. Thank you very much to Garflix and Abusify for joining us and having a great long stream. But it's been great, and the fact that we've got great stats and we've got great clips from you guys and great content that Garflix has done. I can't stress as much as it is. You know, go as much as you know your communities are putting in the effort, your commanders are giving you stats and all that, and seasonal is getting run by Heidi and Jane with their supported team, but also go give some love to the other streamers. You know, there's new streamers that are getting brought in now, so go give each one of them some love, drop them a follow, and just make sure that you've got their notifications on, because then you can watch all of the games live or in the future as well. But please just drop them some love as well, because they're doing it out of the kindness of the heart. They don't have to do all this. But I know from watching you guys here, you really appreciate the games being streamed. So drop those streamers some love, please.
Yeah, massive thanks and you know, love to all the other casters who've come to the chat today as well and to watch the show. Like, we've seen you out there, and you know, really appreciate you coming along. So, and week on week as well. Some of you have been back week on week, so that's really cool. I really appreciate that. I guess we'll do what we do every week, shall we? And try and raid somebody. Should we ask, chat, who do you think, like, who's on at the moment? Who should we raid? And share that love, like No Connection says.
Normally they point out someone good. He's doing Will. Will's already on 51.
We've
Let's
got
go next.
Will. We
We've
did
already
last
had Will.
time.
Yeah,
We've got
let's go someone else.
Sandboards on, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me find him.
I think Toffis voted Will last week as well.
Yeah, we felt Will last week. Yeah, I'd be up for another week though.
Yeah.
He loves Will, which is fair enough. He's a good guy. So, but yeah, we'll drop the raid on Lieutenant Colonel Soundboard. So make sure you share him some love. And thanks for joining us as always. And catch you at the weekend and then next week for the next show.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, make sure you drop him a follow. Use those Prime subs.